Hey everyone, welcome back with Beano Mac. The AKI N64 series of wrestling games is flooded with all sorts of Easter eggs, glitches, and secrets, and this one is going to be a long one here. So super quick before I start, I just want to ask for your support by leaving a like, comment, or even subscribe if you find any kind of enjoyment out of this video. But with that said, let's get started. Starting off with the first game in the series, WCW vs NWO World Tour allowed us to rip off masks and face paint on all wrestlers. This is a feature carried over into the Japanese exclusive AKI titles Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 and Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Use a wrestler with the eye gouge, which is an upper body submission move. Keep using this specific attack until your character tears off the mask or smears the opposition's face paint. Their face will now be exposed for the rest of the match, but the victim will gain a special automatically as a result. In Virtual Pro Wrestling games, they added a special animation where the aggressor shows off the piece of the desecrated mask to the audience in attendance. World Tour was developed alongside VPW 64. In Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, Eddie Guerrero had some attires with a mask not available in World Tour. However, Eddie can still have this now invisible mask torn off in World Tour. Same goes with the unlockable wrestler Wrath, who was built off of the Road Warriors from Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. So despite not having a mask, you can rip one off of Wrath too. Starting in WCW NWO Revenge, you can steal your opponent's finisher by pressing A and B simultaneously while in the special state. This would be carried over to all future AKI titles. World Tour and Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 seem like they also have this finisher stealing feature, but it wasn't implemented properly. You can steal moves from opponents, but most of the time it isn't their finishers. Sometimes it is, like with Ric Flair, but a lot of the time it'll be some random move. My guess is that stealing finishers was meant to be included, but it was dropped and we only have remnants of it in the first two titles. Maybe it was a timing issue, maybe they couldn't implement it properly yet. I don't know. The X taunt for Hannibal and the Black Ninja in World Tour doesn't add momentum to the Spirit Bar. This was likely just a developer oversight. In WCW NWO Revenge, Booker T and the fictional wrestler Aki Man both will do a spin-a-rooney taunt while getting up while in the special status. Speaking of Aki Man, he is the only wrestler in the series who can jump anywhere in the ring from the top rope. Scott Hall didn't receive his proper cross powerbomb finisher, the Outsider's Edge, until his appearance in Revenge. In World Tour and Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, it was instead a sit-out powerbomb. In Revenge, some submissions cannot be interrupted by teammates in handicap and tag team matches. Goldberg's jackhammer finisher also can't be broken up either for some reason. Data exists for several cut characters and managers in Revenge. While some are unable to be determined, it's clear that Fake Sting, Ric Flair, Ted DiBiase, Woman, Jacqueline, Sister Sherry, and Wrath were cut during development. Wrath is the only wrestler who has enough data to be playable in the base game. There is a GameShark code that restores what is left of him, and completing championship mode with him will allow him to stay on your game forever. He does have some glitchy moves though, and his clothes are just borrowed from Sting. Wrath, Ric Flair, and Fake Sting were fully restored as intended in the Revenge ROM hack, Virtual Pro Wrestling Salvo made by RagDas, which also enabled the lost feature of running grapple finishers. In the Nitro and Super Brawl 8 stages, you can Irish whip opponents backstage. Depending on how high their spirit is, they can come running back at you with a weapon. If tossed into the back, press A, B, L, or R, and you may come back with a weapon. It's a game of chance, but having higher spirit will make it more likely that you will be armed on your way back into the arena. Sting and La Parka are the only wrestlers in the series to start matches with weapons. Sting holds his iconic black bat, while La Parka starts off with a chair. In Revenge, DDP received a new animation for the Diamond Cutter. If someone steals it from DDP though, they'll do the old inferior animation from World Tour and Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. The fictional wrestlers in Revenge are all based off of popular Japanese wrestlers. They were all given their own backstories and appearances though. Dave Ken, for example, was a former personal fitness trainer who learned to fight because he would often sleep with the women he trained, leading to him needing to defend himself from their angry husbands. He also has a special personal weapon specific to him, which is the wooden mallet. This is likely a replacement for Atsushi Onita's sickle. Jekyll was based off of Dr. Death Steve Williams. His name was the nickname of THQ producer Sanders Keel. Ming-Chi and Kim-Chi are twin brothers who were separated at birth and abandoned by their parents. Ming-Chi tries to fight in the crowd to find his twin brother. Maya Inca Boy is apparently half man and half boy. I don't really know what that means, so let's just move on. The final fictional backstory I'll cover is Brikowski. He was a former exotic dancer and has a love for blackjack, which is evidenced by his tattoos. This salacious fighter would return in the WWF No Mercy ROM hack Project Outsider made by GM Spectre. In revenge only, Sting comes down from the rafters in a special entrance during Battle Royals and if he interferes, just like he did on TV at the time. In Revenge, if you skip the intro cutscene on the grayscale section featuring Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, and The Giant, all belts in Championship mode will now be silver. I don't know if this was a glitch or an intentional Easter egg, but it is cool. But once you start a match, the belts will revert back to normal. Winning the World Heavyweight Championship with any member of the New World Order Black and White faction will have them wear the title with their logo spray painted on the belt. If you flick the analog stick back and forth, you will steal an opponent's taunt. This started in WCW NWO Revenge and carries through the rest of the franchise. If you steal certain taunts with Hulk Hogan, you will hear him yell, "Yeah!" which is usually only heard during his 10 punches corner attack. If you hold down the analog stick while in a vulnerable state, you can stay down as long as you want. You can even let your foe win. If you are trapped in pins or submissions in World Tour and Revenge, you can flick the analog stick to immediately get out of it. While it seems overpowered, once you are damaged enough, you will just automatically tap if put in a submission while trying this tactic, so don't abuse this power. Starting in Revenge, human players can control managers. For player 1's manager, plug a controller into slot 3 and then press Z. To control player 2's manager, press Z while the controller is in slot 4. In future titles, more button presses are required. In WrestleMania 2000, you need to press Z and up on both the D-pad and C buttons. In No Mercy, you need to press Z, L, R, and up on both the C buttons and D-pad together. Speaking of managers, if someone comes out to attack you, they will automatically jump into the ring to help you fight off your uninvited attacker. This feature once again started in Revenge. In Battle Royal matches, you can give control to the AI by pressing Z. Tap Z again to regain control. This returns in later games, of course, and once again, if you want to do this in WrestleMania 2000, press C up on the D-pad, and Z simultaneously. For No Mercy, press those 3 buttons along with L and R. In tag team matches, if you and your partner flick the analog stick in the same direction at the same time, you both will do a synchronized taunt. This, of course, started in Revenge. Exclusive to Revenge, there is a hidden pin mechanic. Unless there is a massive difference in health and spirit, your opponent will always kick out at 2 at least twice every match before you can end the match with a pin. This is why you can use 2 specials, get a double 2 count, and then just hit a running attack and end the match very anticlimactically. Doing moves with pin combinations or going for quick pins before you want to end the match will prevent this from happening and will allow you to end the match on your terms. Finally, for Revenge, you can steal ground grapple moves while in the special state. Hold A and B to take your foe's submissions. This was removed from WrestleMania 2000 for some reason, but returned in No Mercy. Both WCW games had Japanese wrestlers represented by fictional counterparts, so here is the complete list. I apologize for mispronunciation in advance. In World Tour, starting with Dead or Alive Wrestling, it is based off of the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling promotion. Sumo Joe is Shinichiro Tenryu, Kimchi is Koji Katao, Blackheart is Tarzan Goto, Puteka is Atsushi Onita, Hannibal is Hayabusa, who ended his career in FMW, unfortunately due to a nasty moonsault botch. Powder Keg is Kodo Fuyuki. Dim Sum is half Jito, and the third and fourth costumes are Jado. Saladin is Abdullah the Butcher, and finally Alibaba is based off of Tiger Jeet Singh. The Independent Union roster is based on Michinoku Pro. The Black Ninja represents the Great Sasuke. Shaolin is based on Jinsei Shinzaki. The Unknown is Super Delphin. The Claw is Grand Naniwa. Black Belt is Taka Michinoku himself. Paco Loco is both Detoko and Men's Tio. Shaman is Shunji Takano. And last is Master Fuji, who is made to be Grand Hamada. The final two are the Black Widow, based on Manami Toyota, and Joe Bruiser, the fictional Muhammad Ali. In Revenge, things get a little complicated. Some wrestlers are based on multiple, so I'll try my best to list all of the influences. Aki-Man has parts of Mitsuharu Misawa, Jushin Thunder Liger, and KJ Muto. Shogun is based off of Toshiaki Kawada. The Executioner is a Kenta Kobashi skin. Dr. Frank is mostly Jumbo Tsuruta. Jekko is of course based on Dr. Death Steve Williams. Maya Inca Boy is a representation of Akira Toei. Hawk Hana is based off of Genichiro Tenryu. Kim Chi is Revenge's version of Koji Katao. Date Ken, as previously mentioned, is based on Atsushi Onita. Brikowski is Kodo Fuyuki. Ming-Chi is Tarzan Godo. And finally, Hanzo Man is actually half Tiger Mask and half Hayabusa. In Revenge, Eddie Guerrero's name is spelled EDDY. On his shirt though, it ends with an IE instead of a Y. In WWF WrestleMania 2000, you can't create female wrestlers. You can clone them to a created wrestler and pick from the template designs Aki's used for the model and change some colors though. It's here that you can even see the unplayable designs for the dummy and the Godfather's hose. In WWF WrestleMania 2000, Face 50 is the face of future head of WWE Talent Relations, Johnny Ace, who would appear in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. If you create a superstar, give them the Brood theme, no Titantron, and Stone Cold's taunt, then on the Raw and Heat stages only, your superstar will turn around to do their entrance taunt. No idea why this occurs, but it's a strange glitch. If you time everything correctly, you can cause a glitch that keeps the wrestler in the pinning animation for a while. If you drag a prone opponent at the correct time while someone is jumping off the top rope with a pinning combo move, then the wrestler who dived off will stay stuck in the pin animation and can't be interacted with. Eventually the glitch wrestler will be set free though. Revenge and Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 are the only games in the series that allow any combination of tag team to enter the arena together. In WrestleMania 2000, only proper teams from around the time enter together and they require the same trons and themes. There are extra combinations though. Setting up Billy Gunn with the New Age Outlaws theme allows him to tag with Road Dogg. The Headbangers will come out together if you switch Chaz's theme to Thrashers. Undertaker and Shane McMahon will come out together if you switch both themes to the Corporate Ministry. Any combination of Mankind, Ken Shamrock, Big Show, and Test can come out together as a union. D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry attending together occurs if you switch Mark Henry's theme to D'Lo Brown's. Edge and Christian can enter the ring with Gangrel if you switch their themes to the Brood. Finally, switching Triple H, Road Dogg, and Xbox tracks to DX will have them come out together. For some reason though, Triple H and Road Dogg won't enter the ring together. In WrestleMania 2000, there is a taunt that's a reference to the popular anime Dragon Ball Z. The taunt in question has you gather energy similar to what Goku does when he gathers energy for his Spirit Bomb technique, but instead you throw a Kamehameha. Afterwards, you are breathing hard, which is another trait we've seen often in the show. In WrestleMania 2000 only, for created wrestlers you can set strong grapples as weak B grapples. So you can have the Chokeslam from Hell, Brainbuster, and other powerful techniques as weak attacks. Clearing Road to WrestleMania mode with Stone Cold will unlock the Smoking Skull Championship design as a template for free play. There's also an unused light heavyweight title design in the game that needs to be reactivated with GameShark codes to work. It's fully functional, so it's unknown why this design was excluded from the game. In WrestleMania, you can make arena choices disappear from the menu, create 7 titles, then start up a King of the Ring tournament, create a new belt, and then back out from naming it. Then go back to the menu and you'll notice that it skipped over the arena select. go back and you will see the hall has disappeared. You can keep doing this until all arenas are missing, but then you'll soft lock the game and you will need to restart it. To fix this glitch, start a match and the arenas will reset. In this game, Scott Too Hot Taylor and Too Sexy Brian Christopher represent their Too Much tag team. However, when they come out together, their nameplate reads Too Cool. So there's a small chance they were meant to have their gimmicks updated before release, but AKI didn't have enough time. Another oddity regarding these two is that they both have the wrong movesets. Brian Christopher uses Scott Taylor's moves, and Scott Taylor uses Brian Christopher's moves. The easiest way to tell is that Scott Taylor has the top rope leg drop that Brian Christopher used, referring to it as the Tennessee Jam. While selecting wrestlers for season mode in WrestleMania 2000, first select a wrestler with an entrance outfit, then back out to see the game load them into their entrance outfit. Another similar Road to WrestleMania glitch is if you win a title in the King of the Ring tournament mode, immediately start a new Road to WrestleMania game and on the character select, highlight the champ or champions and you'll see them sporting their newly won belts. When you set up a pay-per-view, you can choose the arena. But if you leave the pay-per-view and play another mode in a different arena, you will use the new arena instead of the previously selected hall you set up while creating the pay-per-view. For example, if I set up the arena as Sunday Night Heat when creating the pay-per-view, then I play a match in exhibition on the SummerSlam arena, when I go to continue my pay-per-view, matches will take place at SummerSlam instead of Heat. Yet another glitch in WrestleMania 2000 is that you can have two wrestlers hold a single belt, set up a match in pay-per-view mode for a singles title, then change the match into a tag team match. The team that wins will hold the championship together until another match for the title is decided. WrestleMania 2000 was developed alongside the Japanese exclusive Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Because of this, WrestleMania 2000 has remnants of features exclusive to VPW2 hidden in its code. Super Specials is a feature that allows certain wrestlers to taunt while already in the special state and use some of the most powerful moves in the game. This was mostly removed from Mania 2000, but for created wrestlers, this feature will activate if you taunt while in the special state. Then your finisher will temporarily switch the bear hug. Using GameShark codes, you can change this move to whatever you want, but it's clear this was never meant to be included in the game and only functions with created wrestlers once per match. Goldust and Owen Hart were meant to be in WrestleMania 2000 but were both cut. That said, they both each have taunts available in Created Wrestler mode as seen here. All other mentions of Owen Hart were removed, but Goldust is technically still in the game. Blue Meanie's shirt design features the bizarre one, but in the original it was colored blue. SK Styles fixed this in his WrestleMania 2000 Plus ROM hack as seen here. So technically, Goldust was here all along and hiding in plain sight. Mr. Sacco will show up on Mankind's hand if you use a special taunt long enough. It will stay on him for the rest of the match. This feature is also available for both Mankind and Mick Foley in the sequel, No Mercy. WrestleMania 2000 has various taunts that add in detailed finger animations like Jeff Jarrett's peace sign, Cactus Jack's gun fingers, Undertaker and Kane's L fingers, and Stone Cold's middle fingers. There is a glitch where if you win a match, then skip to the post-match replay during the taunt, you'll see in the first replay that their fingers continue to stick out. This was sort of a precursor to a glitch later in the series. During development, Triple H was a part of DX in early 1999. Because of this, AKI included an in-ring DX taunt for Triple H that mostly goes unused. You can assign it to custom wrestlers in-game, or with a GameShark code, you can assign it to Triple H once again to see his proper DX entrance. It's strange that this taunt doesn't automatically activate when you change his music to DX though. For some reason, you can't manually change the colors of entrance hats. The color does change, however, depending on what you set for the first upper body color. You'll notice this for the Godfather, but since Droz doesn't wear a shirt, the colors of his hat will never match his alternate colors. While previewing the moves in edit mode in 2000, pressing C right will add a blur effect. The Road Warriors face paint and clothing options are available in WrestleMania 2000 for created wrestlers, along with the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, WCW NWO Revenge parts, hinting that these superstars were meant to be included at one point. British Bulldog even has his face included, meaning he is the most complete unused character in the series, only missing his music. The Road Warriors face paint was meant to return in No Mercy along with the Ultimate Warriors face paint. Unfortunately, the designs had to be changed in the final, but we can see how they were meant to properly look in the beta version of the game. There are 6 different colors for the Poison Mist finisher in the series: red, blue, black, silver, green, and purple. In No Mercy, Road Dogg is the only in-game wrestler to use the second skin color option. Disqualification was added in No Mercy as a match rule. However, this only works if you hit someone with a weapon while standing inside the ring. Doing so outside the ring is fair game, apparently. The Rock, Stone Cold, Kane, and Too Cool have post-match winning animations as long as the finish takes place in the ring or immediate ringside area. To buy everything in the Smackdown Mall, you need $1,259,300 Smackdown dollars. You get a $1 million bonus for eliminating all 100 wrestlers from Survival in one run, which can be earned multiple times. $500,000 of this is from the Godfather's hose alone. Crash Holly has a special exclusive height and weight option. He is listed at 6'6" despite standing at his proper 5'10" height, and is listed to weigh 400 pounds but is still a part of the light heavyweight class. The abdominal stretch submission uses the same animation as the Hogan pin. The tap out animation is just the kick out animation. No Mercy expanded the game from just fighting in the ring to all over the arena and backstage. Because of this, we have multiple locations to find weapons. Like all other games, you can get weapons from the crowd. Weapons will be littered on the floor in certain locations like the parking lot, boiler room, and hallway. You can grab weapons from the lockers in the locker room. Then there's weapons behind the bar in the sports lounge. And finally, certain stages allow you to find weapons in hidden areas. These stages are Raw, Smackdown, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and Armageddon. There are several misspellings in No Mercy. Triple H's jumping knee is missing the R in the move select screen. Royal Rumble is spelled Royal Ramble at the top left corner of the match screen. In certain matches for championship mode, cage match is missing the M on the matchup screen. And finally, despite being spelled correctly in other instances, Steve Blackman's nickname, the Lethal Weapon, is spelled with an extra A for his alias. I'm sure there are more I haven't found yet, but these are all that I know of. Rikishi's Bonsai Drop shows off 2 unintended extra replays if you use it in the special state. Exclusive to No Mercy is the ability to steal your tag team partner's finisher. Press A and B while in the special state to steal your opponent's finisher, but pressing A, B, L, and R will have you use your tag team partner's special instead. This doesn't work for handicap matches though. There are a few glitches in the Royal Rumble mode in No Mercy. First, if you pin someone on a table or the back of the truck, the next entrant will not enter. You can either break the table or exit the area. Another funny trick is if you keep entering and exiting an area while a wrestler is trying to enter the match, you will keep resetting the timer upon entering the new area. Finally, if the Royal Rumble match is for a title, the belt can be easily vacated. To do this, defeat the champion, then defeat the man who eliminated the champion. The belt will now be vacant on the title select screen if you finish the rest of the match. While playing the special referee match, you can knock out all the contestants and win the match for yourself. There are multiple ways to get out of bounds in No Mercy. One way is by equipping Taunt 196. When in the middle, you can throw a punch to go outside the ring or past the barricade. You can also exploit a glitch in the special referee matches. By holding down both the taunt button and referee action button, you will begin to shake. Holding down a direction while doing so will slide you out of bounds. You can then explore any area you would like or fight in the void. Virtual Pro Wrestling introduced special reversal styles not selectable in other games. However, Ken Shamrock has the exclusive heavyweight special reverse style in WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy. S.A. Rios is the only one in No Mercy who uses the junior heavyweight special reverse style. This gives them access to exclusive reversals in certain moves. Here are some examples. It's also possible to set these special reversal styles to cause by cloning either Shamrock or Rios fighting style over your custom fighter and not editing it in any way. Despite not being a high flyer, Albert has the longest jump range in both of his appearances in the AKI games. You can hold the ladder while it's open. If you place the ladder close to the announce table, then slide your hand across by attempting to grab a weapon, you will pick up the ladder. It will be in its improper open position. While selecting tag team partners in No Mercy, the Player 2 and Player 4 characters will not taunt. The Iron Man match was the only new match type not available in the beta of No Mercy. When you set up an Iron Man match in exhibition mode, it's the only match type that doesn't trigger the tempo increase. Steven Richards is also the only wrestler in the final game that was not included in the No Mercy betas. He was directly written over the Big Show's character slot, hence why he replaces him in championship mode. In exhibition, if you start a 2-player hardcore match, you can make certain weapons significantly larger. After player 2 selects his character, hold down the start button. Continue to hold start until all entrances are finished and the match begins. Then go grab a weapon on the outside of the ring. Weapons such as bats, roses, head, nightsticks, and more will be much larger for some reason. Exclusive to No Mercy, certain wrestlers have facial animations to activate during entrances. Mick Foley and Cactus Jack mouth bang bang. This doesn't work for Foley's 4th outfit though. Chyna smiles during her taunt. Chris Jericho also flashes a quick smile while he turns around. Kurt Angle smiles during his taunt too, and X-Pac flicks his tongue in and out during his stage taunt. Some wrestlers have facial animations to go mostly unused. You will only see The Rock's during his winning animation. But if you do copy him and set an entrance taunt, then you will see him close his eyes again, but it doesn't work with his actual in-game taunt. Vince McMahon makes a goofy face during his entrance if you assign a proper taunt. And finally, I have heard Scotty has a very subtle face too. You guys let me know in the comments if you can see it. These are all the known wrestlers at this point, but there may be some more we just haven't discovered yet. There is a glitch that allows you to see these faces close up during promos in championship mode. You have to skip their entrances during their taunts though. The original 3 song in No Mercy seems to be an altered version of Diesel's theme, although I have heard some people compare it to the Big Show's. In No Mercy, there are 2 hidden faces that require GameShark codes to activate. One is an unused people's eyebrow face for The Rock. The other is the Big Show's face, which is one of the last traces of his existence in this game. Activating the face and then going into edit mode will replace all other faces. Saving with these faces will keep the face on the costume as long as you don't change it later. There's an extra unused portrait in No Mercy. If you unlock all characters except for one, you can change any character's portrait to a WrestleMania logo. Go to the bottom of the last page, then press left and you'll access a missing slot. Select this and it will default to The Rock's picture. Once you save and head to the exhibition character select, you will see this normally unusable photo. If you break tables in No Mercy and leave, when you re-enter the area, the previously broken table will be as good as new. In WrestleMania 2000, Chris Jericho uses the triple powerbomb pin finisher. In No Mercy, he was given a new special in which he does 2 powerbombs without a pin instead. In the intro though, Jericho still uses his previous WrestleMania 2000 finisher. Speaking of Jericho, instead of making special boots for Shamrock, AKI gave Ken Shamrock Chris Jericho's boots for his updated design. In the No Mercy E3 demo, Taz is missing his tattoos, but if you hack the demo to unlock the other menus, you can access the edit mode. Once inside, you can find that Taz does have tattoos, but unfortunately they didn't add them to his model for some reason. The Smackdown stage's Ovaltron texture is glitched out. This is likely why we cannot go over to the side of the stage. In No Mercy, managers act differently than in other games. They still help you if someone interferes, but managers no longer taunt to bang on your match progress anymore. They will also openly attack your opponent if you leave the ringside area. Starting in WrestleMania 2000, if you select a Team Battle Royal Rumble, you can trick the game into adding more participants than you selected. Doing so will glitch the game out and eventually cause glitched out models with no proper animations to appear. The way the game handles this is random sometimes though, and no one will appear. In 2000, the Chrome Dummy shows up. VPW2 just freezes the game since no one loads in, but you can fight no one if you choose to. No Mercy has a bald wrestler with just black short tights and The Rock's face. Most of the time though, when the match starts, the game crashes, but many different effects can happen and it seems random as to how the game handles things. In No Mercy, if you play the WWF title defense path with Cactus Jack, once you get to Chapter 3, you will be soft-locked. The game almost always has a replacement wrestler in case you selected someone in the chapter. In this particular case, though, the game has no replacement character ready since you see no one. When the match starts, you and Road Dogg face no one, meaning you cannot progress. I've heard rumors that Dude Love was supposed to be included, but since he's removed, the game no longer has anyone to take Cactus Jack's spot. It also could have been a case where Mick Foley was supposed to be in Cactus Jack's spot here, but someone put in the wrong code and mistakenly put Cactus as his own replacement, meaning there was no character change. Who knows what happened though? Maybe someone needs to ask SK Styles, GM Spectre, or Retro Randy Price, but maybe they don't know either. If you really want to play this path as Cactus Jack though, you can just clone him to a created wrestler spot and play as that instead. For whatever reason, in all the games since Revenge, whenever a character who has no animations is present, the default animation always seems to be a lunging chop. The total number of characters in World Tour is 43. Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 has the most with 94 unique character slots and 5 extra accessible by holding down the Z button on certain wrestlers, making the total 99. WCW NWO Revenge has 63. WWF WrestleMania 2000's total is 57. Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 has 98 wrestlers. And finally, No Mercy has 74 unique slots, but technically 92 different personalities if you count wrestlers who take up 1 or 2 outfit options. In total, there are over 300 unique wrestlers in the AKI series. Starting in WrestleMania 2000, if you select a wrestler who is already a champion in career mode, the game will replace that wrestler with a new champion. Here is the rundown in WrestleMania 2000. The default WWF champ is Stone Cold. Choose him and then it will be The Undertaker. Choose both Steve Austin and Undertaker, and then the WWF champion will be The Rock. The starting tag champs are the Hardy Boys. Choose one and the tag champs will then be Bradshaw and Farouk of the Acolytes. Select a Hardy Boy and a member of the Acolytes and the starting tag team champions will be X-Pac and Road Dogg. Jeff Jarrett is the default Intercontinental Champion. If he is chosen, then Godfather will take his place. Choose Jeff Jarrett and Godfather will place Val Venus as the IC title holder. The European Champion is supposed to be Mideon. If for whatever reason you choose to play as Mideon and Road to WrestleMania, you'll notice the European Champ will turn to X-Pac. If for whatever strange reason you play as the combination of Mideon and X-Pac, then the European Champion will be the Road Dogg. The final bout on WrestleMania 2000's Road to WrestleMania is the Hardcore bout, which at first is held by Al Snow. Choosing Al Snow reverts the champ to Hardcore Holly. Play as the Job Squad and Droz will be the default Hardcore Champion. Moving on to Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, we have 3 belts. The Triple Crown Heavyweight held by Mitsuharu Misawa, the World Tag Team are held at the start by Kenta Kobashi and Jun Akiyama, and finally the All Asia Tag Team titles are the prize Yoshihiro Takayama and Takao Omari claim from the beginning. If you play as the champions in Royal Road succession, then you will automatically start as the champ. Interestingly enough, if you play as only one of the tag team champions, then you will still be the starting tag team champions, and the missing partner is replaced with whoever you picked. For example, if I choose the tag title holder Yoshihiro Takayama, then I will start season mode as a tag team champion with whoever I desire. If I choose a member from both teams, I won't be holding both tag belts, just the World Tag set. If I select Mitsuharu Misawa and one of the tag champs, I will still start the season as Triple Crown champ, but the partner who was meant to be a tag champion will instead be replaced with Yoshinari Ogawa. So lots of different factors at play here. Finally, we have No Mercy. Once you win the belt in championship mode, you can select a champ to do a defending run with the belt, so replacement champions will no longer activate after clearing a path. That said, the default WWF champion is Triple H. Select him and it changes to Steven Richards, though obviously the original intention was for the Big Show to hold the belt if you chose Triple H. The tag belts work in a weird way. The original champs are Edge and Christian. Choose them and you get the Dudleys as champs. Makes sense so far, but things get mixed up. Picking a Dudley and one of the members of Edge and Christian seems to confuse the game, so if you pick Edge and Bubba, the champs are Matt Hardy and Christian. If you pick Devon and Christian, the replacement champs are Edge and Jeff Hardy. For some reason, instead of just having the Hardy Boys or the Radical members Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero as the replacement champs, they made things more complicated than needed. But I'll cut them some slack since figuring out all the proper replacements for every chapter more than likely got confusing after a while. The IC champion is Chris Benoit, but if you choose him for your first playthrough, Chris Jericho will start as the champ instead. The Hardcore belt is held by Crash Holly since it mostly revolves around the 24/7 rule. For some reason, his replacement is Gerald Briscoe. A funny callback for sure, but you would think that they would have put in someone like Steve Blackman, who was the Hardcore champ for most of 2000, or his cousin Hardcore Holly. The European champion is Eddie Guerrero, but if he is chosen, then Kurt Angle will take his place. The light heavyweight champion is Dean Malenko. The replacement champ will be S.A. Rios. It's clear to a degree that most champions that replace the default ones are the previous title holders, which is a pretty cool detail. The final belt for the women's path, Stephanie McMahon is the default champ, but if you select her, then the Cat will be the starting title holder. Something that I found interesting with this is that the Cat will revert to her second costume. Since Stephanie McMahon fights in her primary costume, this could suggest that the original replacement champion was actually supposed to be Lillian Garcia. In the No Mercy beta, Lillian Garcia was playable and was going to be represented as the second and fourth costume slot for the Cat. Another small detail before moving on, in the mixed tag team chapter of the women's title path, depending on who you pick, will actually change your tag partner. For example, Triple H will always be Stephanie's partner, X-Pac will be Tori's partner, and I've seen combinations where Val Venus and Mark Henry may end up as your partner as well. This seems to be the only chapter in the game where the wrestler you choose directly impacts who your tag team partner will be. Have you ever wondered how many chapter blocks are in No Mercy? The WWF path has 52. The Tag Team path has 56, 57 in the Intercontinental path, making it the belt with the most individual chapters. The European title has 49 chapters. Hardcore belt contains 56 blocks, 25 for the light heavyweight, and finally 20 for the women's. The total amount is 315. If you add in the extra 8 chapters from the cancelled Game Boy path that is accessible through GameShark codes, the total goes up to 323 individual paths in this game. The payouts for survival are a lot simpler than you would think. For one pin, you earn $310, $10 for a ring out, and $210 for both TKO and submission. Then there's a multiplier, so when you eliminate a wrestler, you get a $10 bonus. This stacks, so the first elimination nets you $10, then it adds 20 to the multiplier, actually giving you 30 total extra, then $60 and so on and so forth. Here's a chart to hopefully demonstrate things in an easier manner. In No Mercy, if you play a ladder match with a manager, a player can take control and win the match. Once the player has taken control by pressing Z, up on both the D-pad and C-pad, L and R, the enemy of the manager's superstar has to drag the manager into the ring. Once inside, the manager can now climb the ladder themselves and win the match. The match is ruled a draw and the title doesn't change hands. The Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels, is in Taka's Titantron and No Mercy, being slammed by the Michinoku driver. AJ Styles has once said that Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 was the best wrestling game ever. No Mercy has an exclusive mechanic where certain taunts and moves allow for follow-up attacks to do extra damage. The People's Elbow is the biggest example. Using the Rock's People's Elbow startup move makes the elbow after much more damaging. Using the Worm Taunt will make Scotty 2 Hotty's chop much more devastating. Finally, the money shot will be more likely to end the match if you use Val Venus' taunt on the top rope before making the dive. There's also lots of Japanese wrestler moves that activate this as well, like Stan Hansen's lariat after his taunt. For the rest of the list, check out Melonbread1979's Twitter under the AKI Did You Know hashtag. Link in the description below for that and many more secrets on his page. That's all for today, fellas. Before I go, I just want to tell you guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This channel would be nothing without your support, and I deeply appreciate any sort of connection I may have been able to establish with long-time or new viewers. This is an end of an era type video since my channel identity is essentially these AKI Secrets videos. I wanted to compile and remake all these with better footage, an actual script which was missing from the original Secrets videos, and just one big place to show the love I have for this series. I will still do AKI content every Sunday and playthroughs every Saturday, so if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and maybe subscribe if you found some enjoyment from this video. Comment below your favorite secret, or even better, I would love to hear some personal stories of your time playing the AKI titles. Above all else though, please remember to have a nice day. Before this video is totally complete, I gotta throw out some shoutouts. Whether or not they hear me, credit is due to all these individuals. Thank you SK Salz for his WrestleMania 2000 plus ROM hack that I used for this footage. Thank you to RichNero88 for your constant support, even on my other channel, Beano Max. And another big thank you to GM Spectre, KWG, and RagDas for giving the community some amazing ROM hacks to play and more content for me personally. I'm leaving a link to their YouTube pages below where you can find them working on their latest projects. Another ROM hacker, Retro Randy Price's Patreon, will be down below, so support him if you got an extra buck for all his work for the community. And of course, the master of AKI secrets is Melonbread1979, who I took a few entries from his Twitter under the AKI Did You Know hashtag, which will also be linked in the description below. On screen right now are also the folks who deserve credit for several entries in this list as well. Thanks again for the support of the community, and above all else, please remember to have a nice day.